Hello, and thank you for joining me for another installment of There You Go with Bryan. For a time in the 1980s, you couldn't turn on a TV set without seeing Richard Simmons. He was part workout guru, part weight loss expert, and part frizzy-haired court jester. But there was nothing funny about how life started for this likable, impish one-man powerhouse. Born Milton Teagle Simmons in New Orleans, Louisiana, on July 12, 1948. He was born to show business parents and raised in the French Quarter of New Orleans. Simmons has an older brother, Leonard Jr. Their father worked as a master of ceremonies and later in thrift stores, while their mother was a traveling fan dancer and later a saleswoman at a cosmetic store. Simmons was born with a birth defect. He was missing several bones in his right foot. Consequently, he ended up having knee problems because of it. Also, by the age of 4, Simmons encountered a great deal of bullying because of his extra weight. By the age of 15, he weighed 182 pounds. After graduation from high school, Simmons attended the University of Louisiana at Lafayette before graduating from Florida State University with a BA in art. In an interview with the Tampa Bay Times, Simmons explained he adopted the name Richard after an uncle who paid for his college tuition. As a young man, he had considered being a priest, but by the early 1970s, Richard moved to Los Angeles and he was offered a job as a maitre d' at an upscale restaurant in Beverly Hills called Derrick's. It was at this restaurant that his personality really started to shine. He became well acquainted with many popular celebrities, and many found him outgoing and fun. It was also at this time that he developed an interest in fitness. Exercise studios of the day catered to people who were already fit, but Richard saw an opportunity to help an underserved demographic. What about those people who were terribly out of shape or who had maybe never been in shape to begin with? He started teaching aerobic classes and in the process dropped an amazing 123 pounds. After having so many of his students tell him he should open his own gym, Richard finally took the plunge. His gym was called Slimmons. What made Richard's gym different was the emphasis on healthy eating in proper proportions. Why, they even had a salad bar. They also focused on enjoyable exercise in a supportive atmosphere. Simmons began to draw media attention due to the success of his health club that began with him on a show called Real People, where he was shown at work. He introduced customers whom he had helped to lose weight. He later had guest roles on TV shows such as Battle Stars, Body Language, Super Password, Win, Lose, or Draw, Match Game, and The Price is Right. Positive viewer reaction landed Simmons a reoccurring role as himself in General Hospital over a 4-year period. This, as well as being in shopping malls where he taught exercise classes, led to further media attention. In the early 1980s, Simmons hosted 2 shows. One was Slim Cookin' and the Emmy Award-winning talk show entitled The Richard Simmons Show, in which he focused on personal health, fitness, exercise, and healthy cooking. The Richard Simmons Show drew thousands of exercise enthusiasts. Simmons used his energetic and motivational demeanor to encourage people to lose weight. His high energy level was always featured in his workout videos. Simmons interacted at a personal level with people using his products. This began by personally answering fan mail he received as a cast member of General Hospital. Up until 2008, he personally answered emails and letters and made hundreds of phone calls each week to those seeking his help. He claimed to have few friends, saying, "I don't have a lot to offer one person, but I do have a lot to offer a lot of people." Aside from his 3 Dalmatians and 2 maids, Simmons lives alone in Beverly Hills. In a 2012 interview in Men's Health, he was quoted as saying, "When the king gets depressed, he doesn't call for his wife or the cook. He turns to the little man with the pointed hat and says to the court jester, 'Make me laugh,' and I am that court jester." It was at the height of his popularity that Richard came up with a double whammy of a product line to help people lose weight and get healthy. Deal a Meal was a card-based system that allowed people to enjoy healthy, low-calorie meals with a lot of variety. He followed that up with Sweatin' to the Oldies, a video collection of workouts and inspirational talks to help people get in shape and feel better about themselves. Both products were incredibly successful and made Richard a multimillionaire. He continued to appear on television talk shows such as David Letterman and an endless stream of personal appearances until 2014. It was at that time that Richard started having serious health problems. A digestive issue became problematic, and remember that birth defect that caused him to develop a bad knee? Well, over time, things got worse. Richard underwent an operation on his right knee, and according to a close friend, the operation was extremely painful and took a long time to heal. The doctors told him he would also need an operation on his other knee as well. Perhaps that's why, without notice or announcement, without even explaining anything to his friends, in February of 2014, Richard Simmons, the most successful workout guru in history, for lack of better words, disappeared. No more TV appearances, no more galas. He even stopped showing up at his gyms, Slimmins. In November of 2017, his chain of workout gyms closed their doors. In March of 2016, speculation began that he was being held hostage by his housekeeper. In response, on March 14, 2016, Simmons gave an audio-only interview on The Today Show, denying the rumors.
No one is holding me in my house as a hostage. I do what I want to do, as I've always done. So people should sort of just believe what I have to say, because, I'm Richard Simmons. I just sort of wanted to be a little bit of a loner for a while. I had hurt my knee, and I had some problems with it. And then the other knee started to give me trouble, because I've taught, thousands and thousands of classes. And, right now I just want to sort of, just take care of me.
On April 19, 2017, following a hospitalization for severe indigestion, Simmons made his first public comment in over a year, posting on Facebook a photo of himself and the message, "I'm not missing, just a little under the weather." However, the picture that was included in the post was from 2013, leading to speculation that the person who posted the message might not actually have been Richard Simmons. In May of 2017, he sued the National Enquirer, Radar Online, and American Media Inc. for libel and false claims that he was undergoing gender reassignment. In September of 2017, Simmons lost the lawsuit and was ordered to pay the defendant's attorney fees. The judge ruled that courts have long held that misidentification of a person as transgender is not actionable as defamation. It's been nearly 10 years since Richard Simmons has been seen publicly. At the time of this writing, he would be 74 years old. The thing that made Richard so different than other health gurus is that he developed a real bond with his clients. He would even give strangers his cell phone number so they could call him day or night if they needed him. He didn't just talk to these people who were suffering from years of obesity and pain, but he listened to them. He felt their anguish and on a regular basis wept with them. Needless to say, Richard was a true empath, a person who feels emotions so intensely that they can actually make themselves sick. Hyperempathy syndrome occurs when you are too in tune with other people's emotions and mirror them to the same intensity. In other words, you care too much. People with hyperempathy may find it hard to regulate their emotions and may have a tendency to pick up a negative feeling and run away with it. You have to remember that Richard was helping thousands of people over a 40-year period. Did he just burn out? Or maybe having problems with his knees just made it impossible for Richard to feel like his old self. On March 2017, at the insistence of friends, LAPD detectives visited Simmons' home to conduct a welfare check. The police released the following statement. Simmons is perfectly fine. Right now, he is doing what he wants to do, and it's his own business. Will he ever reappear? We will just have to wait and see. But for now, he remains in his Beverly Hills mansion, hidden away from the world. Oh, I should state that while Richard Simmons has become somewhat of a recluse, there is one photo that has surfaced of him. In the back seat of a chauffeur-driven car, just looking through the back shaded windows, you can see it's Richard Simmons. The hair might be a little longer. He may have a full beard, and he's wearing a baseball cap. But that is Richard Simmons, going back home after a visit to the hospital. If you've enjoyed this episode of There You Go, and you would like to support the program, please click the Venmo or Patreon link below. We always appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you next time on There You Go with Bryan.